Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Britt Adkins. I'm the founder of Celestial Citizen. And we've got Bailey Burns here, my good friend. We're both in the Colorado School of Mines Space Resources program together. We like to do these little reaction videos just for fun, share our thoughts about the media world of space. So anyway, but Bailey, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Bailey Burns, as Britt just said, getting my master's in space resources. Really excited to be back here for part 2. For those of you that didn't see the first one.
Nice. And do you have your moon today? Like, where's the moon, Bailey? Oh, nice. Did the moon buddy make it to high seas or no? Oh, no, you forgot the moon on the simulated moon. Yeah. Oh, so you're gonna go back, you think? Oh, all right. All right. Okay, let's get this started. Are you ready? Episode 2. Here it
Let's
comes.
go.
Space
Go for
bar.
launch.
A voyage around the moon must be made in 2 phases. A rocket ship taking off from the Earth's surface will use almost all the fuel.
Is this like the real video?
Just to attain a speed great enough to balance the pull of gravity.
I feel like this reminds me of those old, did you ever see those like old Disney like little shows about Mars and stuff?
Yeah.
They're wild.
That's the vibe, yeah.
I tried to make my kids sit through one of those and they were like, no.
No.
More Paw Patrol. Less 1950s cars.
Throwing stuff out.
Just debris everywhere.
Forget about it.
Cost them a lot of us in fuel.
It's fine. Someone else will clean it up.
Tranquility, you have go for liftoff.
It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa over there. Good lord.
And there goes nothing.
Oh no, they could still die. Oh no. Okay. I forgot. I got Do you see that debris come up?
Yes.
Right there? Yeah. That's what we're working
Someone call Phil Metzger.
on. Call Phil!
Houston, we're definitely...
Why is she off in this side room? Is this like a
Probably
thing?
because she's a woman. I don't know. Like, I don't mean that to be like, I feel like that's probably why she's not allowed on that floor. That's like actually.
I was like, why are some of the people like off in the side? It's like quarantine or something. Like, I don't know what it is about the like zoom in and then we have detail and the detail builds out. But it's like, this is Man in the High Castle for me. This is Westworld for me. This is like even a little bit Expanse for me. It's just like they all have very similar intros. Like, is there one person in Hollywood right now that is doing all of these intros for people? It's like micro to macro, and we're supposed to be like amazed. Oof, that's a bad sign.
That's not what you want.
That's not the way you want to wake up.
No.
I have experience with that.
Oh no, I don't. Okay, that's rough on you. Googling, don't worry.
Rageaholic.
Whoever he is, he's a very angry Ed.
Yeah, he just literally punched a hole in the wall. That's frightening.
We may have lost the moon, but we can still win the race for the base. Race for the base?
Race for the base.
Catchy, right?
How come that hasn't caught on yet?
Your testimony.
Do you think there's a race for the base?
Well, I could sure use the extra manpower, but
Yeah.
Probably.
At least he has a job. You
did
know what
have
I
a
mean?
way of
Like, come
pissing
on,
off
Ed.
your
Be a
superior.
little more grateful. Still work at NASA.
Present company included.
Not like
Yeah. Like the people that like go up and like, you know, they have kids like at home too and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh man, like how do they do that? It would be, yeah.
I met Dick Scobie's wife. He was on Challenger during that, and I met his wife last year. That's got to be hard, you know.
They do a nice job with the like old looking like TV footage and stuff like that too.
I can't imagine the cost of this show between finding all this vintage stuff, the CGI of fake history. Like, I can't even imagine.
Like, I would be done. I would just be done.
Look, I know you're smart.
They were untouchable. They could do whatever they wanted. In a lot of these stories of these great American heroes, that's the kind of dark side that people don't really know about. And it's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I feel so bad for, like, pretty much all of those astronaut wives, with maybe, like, the exception of, like, wasn't John Glenn, like, one of the only ones? Well, maybe not the only one, but notably, I think he was known for being pretty loyal to his wife. But I think a lot of them were not. So. For some of our classes, when we have to like introduce ourselves at the beginning, and like I remember like recording one, and I like got to the end where you're supposed to say like your hobbies, and I was like, I have none, because my hobby is space, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm with my kids, and like that's it. Like I have no life outside of that right now. So
same. Wait, did he just say something sexist? I think he just said something sexist.
He did. Should we
rewind? Being a mother?
Okay, I have the ability to rewind.
Yeah.
Ageism.
I give you this job. You're not going to run off on me to start a family, are you?
Yikes.
I don't think kids are in the cards, sir.
Really? You don't want kids?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's not that I don't. It's just
it's okay.
Right now.
Not every woman is cut out to be a mother.
Oh. The sad thing is like this literally still happens. It happens all the time.
Oh, for sure.
I've like literally had very similar situations happen in my life.
I am so angry, and we're like not even 10 minutes in. Okay, it's fine. We're cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just likes fire.
Don't we all? Let's be real.
This is literally my conversations with my 3-year-old son. Right.
I feel like it resonates with me.
Like, how was preschool today? Who did you play with? Did you make friends? He's like, Mom, leave me alone. Oh, yep, just leave me alone. Exactly. Same story.
You're like, I feel this.
Yeah. I didn't think it would happen this soon.
Yeah, you're like 10 years early. Look at that.
I know. Yeah.
They don't care that you're getting cheated on.
Yeah.
Look at it.
You need
They're
to
just
be
like, this is bad for the
America.
program. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, like, oh, neighbors watching, stuff like that.
Fuck the program.
Bleep.
Beep, beep.
Come here.
Do you think the divorce rate is just high now relative because back then people felt like they couldn't get divorced? I don't know.
Maybe. Like,
I feel like probably a lot of people wanted to,
yeah,
out in their front lawn.
but just didn't. But they probably
I don't think
could
it was an
have.
option.
You gotta think
You
about
know?
those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Love is not a reason to stay if it's like that, you know?
Yeah. If it's toxic, you gotta cut them loose.
shit.
Ugh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Beep. There's a lot of cursing in this episode.
One
so
of these
far.
times I'm gonna get it as they say it, and I'm gonna be so proud.
Yeah, you're gonna like see it coming.
Yep. I have my grandfather's slide rule.
Really?
Yeah, he worked on the Titan rocket, and so
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow.
I'll have to see if I can find it sometime.
Oh, so you got like a space family.
He's like the
Kind
only
of.
one.
Oh.
She's in the big kids room now. Doesn't have to be in that stupid.
Welcome to the trench, Ava Von Braun.
I'm not gonna say anything because we'll have to bleep it out.
Yeah. It's like ridiculous.
Don't take it personal. They pull this stuff with all the new guys.
Literally, like that guy, like taking her aside like that. It's like, no, you need to speak up in the moment. You need to say something, because like that also was not just like, oh, they do this to everyone. It's like that was definitely like, you got this job because of like Von Braun. Like, you know, I mean, that's really belittling. So,
And she also had the right to be there, and plus in general, if you ask me, like it's not even like a guy girl thing. Like I'm sure guys don't like that treatment either. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
yeah. Like, why are we doing that anyway? Yeah. It's
Okay.
not healthy.
Action.
Oh, space bar.
I want to do that so bad.
That would be fun. Oh.
Boys, Daddy's home.
Not happy. not happy.
She like knows it's him. Oh god. I feel like it's gonna get loud. I'm gonna adjust here.
I'll get ready with the beeps, don't worry.
Okay.
It's hard when the mom still has to be nice in front of her dad, you know?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Just
It's
some
not
casserole.
fair.
Hands off, it's for the barbecue.
Barbecue.
All right.
Because now he's also like, oh, okay, she's cool with it. All right, I got away with it. Great.
that's it. I got away with it. Yeah.
I mean, I like Karen because I feel like she like holds it down, but she kind of needs like an awakening. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I feel like she's like still trying to like play this part, and I don't love that. I really want to know what Buzz thinks about this. Maybe we can have him as a guest one week. We can include him in the reaction video.
Okay, guys, we need to make this happen. If anyone knows him personally.
Yeah, literally, just like reach out to us, send him a DM, and like we'll figure it out. But
All the kids over there.
I like themed parties, so I feel like, you know, this is fun. But I feel like you know you're old when you're wearing khakis to a barbecue. Or I guess it's the time period, but
Or, you know, you work at State Farm, one of the two.
You were inflated.
An ad for or against State Farm, full disclosure.
yeah, full disclosure, just commentary on khakis.
Feels like being a dog.
And you know what that just made me think of? That scene in Interstellar when they're like literally on that like water planet, and like that massive tide is coming in. You know what I'm talking about? It's like,
And they're like
you're just
running
like,
away from it.
and you're like sweating because you're just like, oh my god, like they're not gonna get off.
You guys,
It's like it's coming. That nightgown looks so uncomfortable. It's like a long dress. It's like an evening gown.
could use a good kick in the
I watched a video of like, does anyone actually sleep in anything but like a t-shirt? Like, is anyone actually wearing like a formal gown to bed? Like, but this, once again, could be the era. I watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Love that show, by the way. And
So
she
good.
actually, like, you know, she gets all done up. Like, that's
Yes.
part of the show. And you're like, I'm so glad I don't do that.
I mean, how could you even? Like, that's
Yes,
the
sir.
pillowcases you would
Little
go
shy
through.
of 18,000 pounds in the
Terrible.
descent stage, and
Literally, my kids are like inundated with space books and like TV and stuff.
Yes.
Like
love
tonight,
it.
I was reading Here We Are. It's like this amazing book. And my son was literally like, he was like, that's Jupiter, that's Saturn. And he keeps pointing him out. And I was like, yeah.
You go.
Yeah. I was like, what's the red one? He's like, Mars.
Yes, that makes me so proud.
Do you know that Dear Moon? I heard that they got, I don't know if this is true. I hope I'm not spreading fake news, but I heard they got like 1 million applicants.
On the ridge.
Well, I'm one of them, so who knows?
Oh, good for you. Little story here. We were taking the kids to some gardens nearby, but it was like not that nearby. It was like a 30-minute drive. And I don't know like what I was thinking. I was like quarantine brain. And I literally got into the car without shoes. And so we got there and then we had to drive back. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, this is bad, but man, what if it was Mars? You know what I mean?
What if it was Mars? Any mistake I make from here on out. But was it Mars? Okay, like.
but I pulled back, and it was my call,
Taking ownership.
no one else's.
He's so mad. He's like, that didn't play as I thought it would.
Now,
Could you imagine? I lost the moon.
But it wasn't Mars.
It wasn't Mars. Her like little skirt suit reminds me of Legally Blonde. I can't not think about that.
Please bleep.
Like with an
I
L.
apologize. Yes, there's a whole thing about it. Beep is a noun, and bleep is a brief, high-pitched sound from an electronic device.
You know what?
Not a noun.
This is really important work that we're doing here. We are educating people. Okay.
Y'all are welcome. Okay.
Well, I just feel like he's trying to be like a friend, but like, is he really? I don't know.
Lives were
Questionable.
Is he really like?
retest. and
What
we
are your
prepare, because
intentions,
unlike
sir?
the Soviets,
Von Braun was a problematic figure.
That was a matter in which I had no choice.
You always have a
Not
choice.
everybody gets
I feel like there wasn't enough acknowledgement of like
scientific pursuits
what
of
he
their
actually
lives.
did and was responsible for. Also, though, like, do we care about the lives of people living in the US? There's a really interesting book. It's Cast by Isabel Wilkerson. She like draws all these comparisons, but basically also makes the point that like Hitler was actually really inspired by the way that like we treated Black people in this country. And I feel like that's not something we teach in school, and we should, because we always make this like, oh, like the Nazis were so bad, we're not like them at all. It's like, well, we also were oppressing people.
But you need to hold the mirror up.
The other wild thing though is like Von Braun and like Walt Disney were like thick as thieves. I'm not making friends today, but like Disney has a pretty bad track record with racism and sexism. So
yeah, definitely in the earlier movies. Yeah,
I can't even like let my kids watch the earlier ones. You don't realize it like when you're a kid, and then when you grow up and you watch some of the stuff again, you're like, oh my god, terrible.
They throw me to the wolves.
Feels like a pity party. But I did think this was particularly interesting, and to like change his like outcome here.
Quiero estar dentro del fuego.
Oh, that makes me sad.
There's some stuff there to unpack.
How is he getting this close to this though?
Oh, which astronaut was it? He just like rolled up to the launch pad the night before his launch in a Corvette and just like hung out underneath the rocket and then just drove home.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that story.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But like, because I mean, was the Planetary Protection Office like a thing at this point in time? Like, isn't like nobody supposed to like touch it? Like, you know, and like she's gonna touch it.
She's gonna touch it. Well, if there's life on the moon, now we know where it came from.
I feel like he was a really good dad, though.
I feel like he tries, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Guido, go flight.
This is my favorite part of every launch. Like, go, go, go. Oh my god, I get adrenaline rush.
Wait, could you imagine though, like,
launch of Apollo 12.
and Von Braun's like clearing out his desk right now. You know what though? Here, what's really interesting about this is you're not gonna be able to hear me. I forget who it was, but they just removed like the statue for somebody because they had like they were like a eugenicist and like all this stuff. And literally, like, could you imagine if these people actually had to be confronted in their lifetime with what they did? It's like, it's interesting to think about.
But we're having it happen every day with all the stuff coming out lately, you know?
Got nothing better to do because he's not on the moon, so.
True.
Just kidding. Of course, there's other things to do in life other than just.
You should fix your roof, though.
Yeah, you should definitely. Roof maintenance is important.
Oh, I have that little plaque, like a little model of it.
Oh, really?
Presidents
It's
come
so
and go,
meaningful.
Ed.
Did you scratch
They're
out
the ones
mankind,
carrying
though?
the fire.
Well, I can.
Means you're back on Apollo 15. You, Ed, maybe just once, shut the fuck up. You're going back.
Bleep,
to the
bleep,
moon.
bleep.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that's fair. That's completely fair. He does talk a lot.
He's like really whiny.
Yes, sir.
Maybe leave that bleep in, because, like, well deserved.
Honestly, like, there's not many of the men in this show that I'm like super liking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm pretty annoyed by them. So.
It's a woman.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been confirmed that it's a
Valentina?
woman. Her name is Anastasia Belikova.
A former pilot.
Anastasia?
Soviet Air Forces.
What a truly
Look,
historic
this is the
moment.
moment.
Women
I love it.
watching
She's like, yes,
across
that could
the
be
world.
me.
The first
Tracy's like, yes, that could be me.
set foot
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I know. And then look at that next episode. You see that down there? The women are coming.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah,
This is a
so,
lot.
like-
This is a lot.
So this is hold on, I need to pause this.
Okay, so Anastasia, it doesn't look like Anastasia Belikova is a real person. Oh, wait. Oh, it is a real person who was a Russian volleyball player.
Oh, interesting.
Don't think it's the same one. Different strengths there.
I feel like doing the research on this show is like really interesting because like yeah, they do kind of weave like, you know, like real
Truth with
characters.
lies, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, Anastasia's not a real person.
Interesting.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
So good episode, right? Yeah. And here's the thing I really like about it because you might be asking yourself right now, you might be like, why is Britt having me watch this show all about these terrible men that just get to do what they want in space and on Earth? And the real thing is because now we're shifting and it's going to be about like these women astronauts. And so that's what I'm really excited for here. So it's like nothing, it's not like I've liked the show up to now, but it's like it really gets good now after this episode.
Do you think maybe they did that on purpose? Like they really kind of showed the grungy side of the men during the Apollo era for a reason, and they really defaced von Braun for a reason, so that it makes even more sense that the women were kind of brought on to
I definitely feel like they had to like clean house a little bit. But you're right. Like I think with the von Braun stuff, I mean, it's like in some ways they've like painted him in a somewhat sympathetic light with his relationship with Margot, but then obviously they kind of like really like held him accountable there in this last episode, and obviously now he's out. So it's definitely interesting to see how they've kind of handled things. The one thing though is like Ed gets like he gets the second chance, which it's like, and Gordo gets a second. So I still feel like these guys are still pretty much like getting away with it. Like they're not really being, most of them are not really being held accountable. Or even like the one guy, I forget his name, but like the one who's interviewing Margot, and like he says all this sexist stuff and he still gets away with it. So it's like
here?
Yeah. Like platform. It's literally like a shelf. It's a shelf. But
like Mr. Gel or something like that, because I can't imagine how much that's
so much. Or maybe that's just the way his hair is and he puts gel there so that people think it's by choice. I don't know.
I like that. We're
like
writing in this subplot right now. No, but like for real, I don't know if this will happen, but I would love if they're putting all these women in power, they should put Margot, they should have a moment where Margot takes that guy's job. Like just like and like puts the headset on and is like, goodbye now. Like
Yeah. But like it does kind of make me wonder though, like what if we hadn't have been first to do like certain things in space, right? And I'm not just talking about like the moon landing, but like in other areas too. I mean, obviously we weren't the first, like Sputnik was first and like there are some other things, but what if it continued where we were like not first? Would we have actually been better for it, right? Like because I do feel like you have to, I mean, I'm not talking about like loss of human life failures, because those are obviously terrible. But like if we had just like not been first, if we had like kind of failed to like hit those benchmarks before other people did, would we actually be like maybe a little bit more humble, maybe a little bit would have changed some of our strategy? Or like in the case of this show, do you think there ever would have been a scenario where if the Russians had put a woman on the moon first, do you think then the US would have been like, oh, we need to do that? Or do you think the US would have still been way too sexist to consider it? Yeah. But like, do we actually feel like they were really considered? Or do we feel like it was, and I don't know, because I don't know, and I know a little, but I don't know enough about this program as I probably should. But like, was it the kind of thing where it was like somebody was given like a long leash to like start this program, but like people were never like, oh, it's gonna happen, you know? Mhm.
private endeavor, if you will.
Mhm.
And then when it was brought up to NASA, the thing that kills me, like I said, I love James Webb. I love John Glenn. Like these are heroes to me. But you read the book and they were actively against women in space. It wasn't like they were like, meh, whatever, women. It was like they put out statements saying they would not be putting women in space. And it's like, it's James Webb. Like,
Yeah.
what a legend, you know? And he was, in this case, he was on the wrong side of history, if you ask me, with the Mercury 13. But I do think, kind of, if you're going to do this whole like different history route, the infrastructure was there. You know what I mean? Like there, I mean, Lovelace was up there advocating for them, and there were other men as well. It's unfortunate the way it went, but if we had different pushes and stuff like that, it makes me think there could have been an avenue. Like, I mean, in theory, I don't know what this story is going to tell. Maybe they use the Mercury 13, maybe they don't. But like in theory, they had 13 women that were like stood up ready to go, if they needed them, kind of deal,
I think sometimes like some of the most painful things to think about, like when you look back on history, is just to like kind of think about like, wow, what if just a few people in positions of power had made a decision to do something, or had to like stood up for something. Like it's actually like, it hurts me to like think sometimes about like how different like our world could be today, It
also kind of scares me in the sense that these things did happen and people do acknowledge these mistakes, but kind of like what you were saying is there's still so much of it going on right now. I'm a woman in STEM, you know what I mean? And I've never been like openly pushed down for being a woman, and I know it's because of the women who came before me, so I know how much progress we've had. I mean, like I said, it happens all the time, but it's not like open, like with her, like, do you want to be a mother? But like that's never happened to me. But like I know it's because people like Margot and those people like had to kind of blaze the trail for that sense. But it still shocks me. So it's like, it's one of those, it's like, I can't believe how far we've come in 60 years, and I can't believe how much of it is still the same. It's kind of this like paradox in my head of like, how are we still here? Like maybe it's because I'm on the front lines. I'm like, obviously you can't be treating people like that, and other people haven't had to think about it. But
at my undergrad, I did like a dual degree thing with Wellesley and MIT. And at Wellesley, it's like, I mean, it's like you can't go to Wellesley and not come out, with a fair amount of like feminist history theory, like all this stuff, right, that you learn there. And like I thought I was entering the world really prepared for like what would come next. And then it was like, I was shocked. And I've always worked in really male dominated industries. Like I literally worked in finance and then real estate and then space. Like there's like, those are so male dominated. And so it's like, but honestly, even still, like even hearing the horror stories, like until it's like, you get it, because I also don't want people to think that like, oh, you have to experience something in order to have empathy, because that's problematic anyway. But it is like this weird thing when you actually like experience it, you're like taken aback. You're like, whoa, did that just happen? Like, is this real life? Because you're like not expecting it. And so it's like, that's why when people always say this, like, they're like, well, why didn't you react in the moment? Like, why didn't you? And it's because you're just you're shocked. You're shocked by it.
I got a story about that. I can't tell the details and stuff like that, but this is someone my age. This is another guy my age, like a couple years older. We were having a conversation about something, and I won't get into the details, but I basically was like, I've been told this before. This is, sexist behavior, and I'm working on calling that kind of stuff out. I'm genuinely working on it. And so I tried to like call him out, and he goes, whoa, no. I'm a Democrat, so I'm a feminist. And I was just like, what?
What does that even mean? Oh,
something along those lines. And I was just like, you can't call yourself a feminist and then say things like that. You know what I mean?
No.
It's like, I was just sitting there, and I'm like, this happened like recently with someone my age. And, people, like you said, you think, I came out of school thinking I was armored to go up against the old white male. You know what I mean? Like he was my enemy. He was the dragon. I had my sword. And to be completely honest, a lot of the old white males have been very supportive of my career, and they have not been as I was told they were going to be. And a lot of the backlash that I face is actually from men my own age or other women who are above me, which is like, isn't that crazy? Like I was supposed to go up against the old white guy. You know what I mean? And these people were supposed to be the ones that had my back, and they just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shocking.
We're getting into a whole nother rant.
Definitely had my bad experiences.
That's fair.
Front.
Yeah, that's true. I've definitely had other experiences.
Positive ones. Like I've also had like really positive ones. Like I've been very lucky to have some like great mentors. But you're absolutely right. So there, and again, it's like same with women. There have been some women who have been, in positions like higher than me where it's been amazing. And then there have been others where, it's like, it was like really bad. And then you're right. Like the part that scares me is like yeah, it's definitely like the younger men that are coming up, and you don't see the change because you're like expecting it to be different. You're expecting them to think about things
They were brought
differently.
up different, you know? Our
Yeah.
generation was talking about this. Yeah.
And like literally it's, oh yes, like
Cringe.
it is, yeah, it's like really bad. And I definitely saw that a lot. The problem is though, is like they're not, like why would somebody like change unless they have to, you know? And that's the thing. That's what it boils down to. Is like these people can still get away with it.
Well, and that's what this show is, right? Is
yeah.
Why would the US change until Russia made them? You know what I mean? Like that's exactly what we're talking about here.
Tying it back.
Look at that.
Look at this. Wow. That is a really good point. Yeah. I would be really interested to kind of see, because I feel like in history too, like we've also had moments where, you know, people have been like protesting and been like, this is wrong, and like speaking up and all this stuff. And like, and then I feel like we kind of like, we just fall back. Like we kind of like fall back on our laurels and like,
because it's easy.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, I really hope that like we come out of this and we're thinking about things a lot differently. But I hope people start to make changes, you know, little by little, and then that amounts to something really big. But I mean, the other thing though that I've learned at this point is that like anybody that thinks that like government does not play like a massive role, like government and corporations pretty much like dictate our lives. So it's like, that's where we also have to be like caring a lot more, and also like at the local level too, right? Because it's like the changes that have to occur at the local level are like really critical, and most people don't even know what's going on at their local level. But that's really like how decisions get made in your neighborhood, in your community. So
one thing that I've really noticed is algorithms, and how the algorithms from social media are kind of playing into this. I've done some preliminary research, so please nobody quote me on this or anything like that. But from what I can see, a lot of the kind of sexist behavior of like idolizing women actually come from when you check mail when you're setting up your profile. Like, you know, the algorithms are like training. So they're like, so I think a lot of these young men who are on social media, that's like how the algorithms identify, is like young men like sexist images. So we will show them as sexist images. And I started looking at this in terms of women too. And I think what women are seeing a lot of is like they typically get ads for how to lose weight, helping your mental health, all these things that if it wasn't a problem before, you now are thinking, is this a problem for me? And you're oftentimes shown the women you wish you were. They weren't always like sexualized, was like for the males and stuff like that. But to me, it's like men are still being shown by these algorithms the sexism we're trying to get rid of, and women are still being shown things that say you're not good enough. And to me, like that's an algorithm thing. And I don't know if you've watched The Social Dilemma, but that's literally what it is like, if you ask me, whoever invented these algorithms weren't like, you know what we should do, like, you know, like like it's just the way our society is working, and nobody's there to kind of monitor that. And you know, those algorithms, that's just what humans are doing.
It's the inherent bias, like it's like built into it, because the people designing this stuff all look the same. They all think the same. And so that's like the big problem there. But you're absolutely right. Like even like so now that I'm in like the 30 crowd, right? Like I'm getting, and obviously like Instagram knows I'm a mom, because of course it does. And so it's like, I literally get ads where it's like, yeah, I mean, it's like all this stuff about like, oh, what moms, like baby foods you should make or things like that. So it's like, it makes you like start to feel this like competitiveness of like, oh, you have to be that mom who has like the big balloon display, which by the way, balloons are like bad for the environment, people. So like, anyway, maybe we should move away from that. But it's like, yeah, it's like, you've got to have all this stuff figured out. And it's just like, social media is like, honestly, it's like such a lie. Like, I mean, it's really like, people are only putting out what they want you to see, you know? So it's like, you have to know that. And I think
the ads are doing the same thing, you know?
Yeah,
like, but I remember like when I turned 22, it was almost immediately that I started getting engagement rings in my ads. Like almost like, I'm sure it was there before, but I really noticed it after I turned 22. It was like, I hit this age, and that's because what society was doing is I was immediately shown engagement rings. And I was, I don't know if you've noticed this about me, but I'm kind of more the career kind of woman, not the get married kind of woman. Not that there's a problem with either one of them, but I immediately was like, wait, are people my age getting married? Wait, oh God, like, you know what I mean? Like I immediately, like, I felt like I wanted that, even though I knew I didn't. I knew I wanted to do the career thing first. So I was just like, I feel it coming from social media, which is crazy, because social media is also where you're getting all these great stories about being empowered and stuff, but it's also where all the toxicity. Oh, we're getting
because
deep stuff.
The thing is like we literally are being morphed, right? To like, because don't you also notice that then like the friends that you have that kind of all see the same stuff, you become echo chambers, and then you all start buying the same stuff. Like you then suddenly are like, oh, look at this great random unique thing I found online. Oh wait, 5 other people just posted about it and they have it as well. And so it's like literally we're all being like kind of molded by this. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's really concerning, because even I remember this was like a few weeks ago, but there was like I don't know if you saw this, but there was like an image that went like kind of viral on social media where it was literally, I think her name's like Alyssa Carson or whatever. Her handle. Yeah. And so, and like literally like it had her, and then like, I think it was like Kendall Jenner or something. Did you see this where they were like side by side?
No.
And it was like Kendall Jenner in some like, you know, like bikini or whatever. And then like Alyssa was in her like astronaut training suit or whatever. And it was like comparing them, but I was like, well, but like, honestly, they like, why are we comparing them as if like Kendall Jenner is bad or that like Alyssa is bad? Like, honestly, it's just like these 2 women should be able to do whatever they want to do, be who they are, dress how they want. Why are we like comparing them and pitting them up against each other? Because it's like this weird toxic thing where it's like, yeah, like the guy's looking at this like, okay, like, so I'm just going to say it, but it's like, you're looking at this, you know, you look at Kendall Jenner photos more than likely, and yet you're going to come on here and try to say that like, oh no, I support a more like conservative approach to women where they cover themselves up. And it's like, and also like, we don't know. I mean, I don't know Alyssa, like, I don't know what, you know, she's all about, but it's like, we're just simplifying these women to like literally a snapshot in time. And it's like, this does not speak to their complexity as human beings. And it's just really damaging. So anyway, and like, I saw a lot of men like posting that as if they were being supportive of women by liking this photo. And I was like, you're not being supportive. If you're supportive of women, you support all women, you know, not just who you think is a good role model for us, you know?
That's the thing that kills me too. I mean, yeah, you gotta, I kind of feel this kind of stigma about women in STEM right now. And like women in STEM are kind of like the pretty engineers, if that makes sense. And you know, a woman in STEM is a female who works in STEM. And for me personally, it's a female who works in a STEM field who is also being a role model, kind of, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's a woman in STEM. It doesn't really matter if they're wearing makeup or if they have a dress on that day. That doesn't define the female power, you know? It's
it's like, why are we, it's like, why are we reducing people to these like caricatures of themselves? And I think that's where some of the competitiveness comes from. Sure. Because it's like when women feel like they're reduced to like this version of themselves, right? This very simplistic version of themselves. Well, then they have to be competitive because there's not enough room for multiple people because there's no depth, right? If we actually look at their depth and we understand all these people are different, they bring different things to the table, then there would be a lot more space for people. No pun intended, but. Yeah.
You know, I'll bet you if we were to bring men into this conversation, I'll bet you there's men out there that feel a very similar way, that they have to fit to this form, to this snapshot of being a man, and it's not necessarily how they actually view themselves. So I bet you
for sure.
I bet you we're hitting on some major things right here.
Maybe
we on for a while.
Maybe we should go bring my partner in on this and get his hot take on it. You know, I don't know. I do think we need to start doing cameos. Let's call up Buzz. Like, let's
just see what he's doing. Let's see what he's doing next week.
Hashtag get Buzz on Britt and Bailey's reaction video. That exact hashtag. We're gonna go with it. It's long, but it's gonna go viral.
Lots of bees. Don't worry about it. And I guess I think we really ranted it all out this week. So I'm sure we'll have more next week. But, you know, for this week, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel better. I feel good. Are you feeling good, Britt?
I feel like that was cathartic. You know, I feel like I really got a lot out. I'm ready to like embrace, Saturday and just like, start a new, whatever. It's quarantine. Saturday's not a new week.
No. Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm ready to go read a bunch for my new class. So that's different.
Yeah. It's like literally, this is why we're doing this on a Friday night.
We need something to do. Yes. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Okay, well, I guess on that note, like we learned a lot. We learned that it's bleep instead of beep. We learned about the space bar, being able to pause a video. So, and we talked about, the power of feminism in the workplace and other areas of your life, like social media. So I think this was a solid episode with space and everything in between.
we broke a lot of stuff down. So I'm proud of us.
So come back next week, everyone.
All right. Later.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Bailey. Bye, everyone.